What is going on, everybody? This is another edition of Flobito's Book Club. It's worth a skim. I just love the little point thing. It's pretty cool. How's everyone doing? I know you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for being a member of the Patreon crew, the Boisterous crew. You guys make what I do a reality. I thank you guys so much because you guys don't know how much your contributions help to make content quite like this. And if you want to see different kind of shows or different kind of ideas, make sure you hit me up. This is a two-way street. We're collaborating on this one. Let's talk about books and covers, man. You know, I'm a big fan of judging books by their covers, not with people. That's kind of silly. But I mean actual books, looking at titles, looking at authors, looking at the way things are designed. That's how I pick a lot of times what I end up reading. And you guys know me from their other show, What's Up, Flobo. I'm a big fan of the Honeymooners. And so when I saw the Unhoneymooners available at the bookstore / Amazon, I had to go pick it up because I just figured maybe good vibes would be ahead. I knew it had nothing to do with the sitcom, but I want to talk to you about it. This one's here. It's called The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, which is kind of like a tag team pen name. Again, the names here, Christina Hobbs and Lauren Billings. They combined like Voltron. They are a team. They have a litany of books available in the chick lit genre. This is something I'm not too well versed in, that young adult or adult female driven fiction, sometimes called chick lit, as opposed to chiclets, which are gum, right? But I want to get in there because I want to be able to open my own horizons as I read different books on this show. I've done nonfiction, I've done comedy, I've done horror, and now this one here is a little bit of a thing. The Unhoneymooners, available now. It came out a couple of years ago, about 2-3 years ago. Available now. I got mine on Amazon. You get yours to Barnes & Noble or wherever books are sold. It's a light read, even though it has a close to 400 pages, I believe, 300 and no, actually it hits 400 plus the epilogue. It's a light read, very easy breezy read to check out when you're at the pool or hanging out after a lazy afternoon as we wind down the summer. Romance is in the air when a twin of a bride gets to go on the bride's honeymoon after the bride and the groom falls ill at the actual wedding. And let's be real, for someone who didn't expect anything going into it, there was a little bit of gross out humor about how everyone got ill at the same time, essentially by food poisoning. It's not quite that, but hey, I'm not spoiling anything, but just the idea, the visuals that comes with at a wedding. Turns out that with this honeymoon was going to be lost in the ether, and so our protagonist, the sister of or the main character sister, the main character is a sister of the bride who got ill, following her journey about finding love, finding herself, and finding what is important in life. And that seems to be a common trend with a lot of these kind of films, especially if you're familiar with Hallmark movies or Harley Quinn novels. You have a protagonist that's weighed down by the world around her, the expectations to excel at employment, to be put together, to have the perfect body, and to find the companion. And I thought that was a kind of cool twist on that. The companion in question, though, was the brother of the groom. Obviously, because they had the same last name, decided the best thing to go. And even though there was some tension between our main character, Olive, and Ethan, the brother of the groom, they actually got to work on their relationship throughout the course of the novel, which was pretty cool. So imagine this. You are on a honeymoon to Maui, to Hawaii. Even though it's not for you, you are close enough in either looks or name of the people that's supposed to be there. You kind of just chill out as them for the next week. I was a little bit surprised. I thought that would have been a more of a tested trope, them being caught pretending to be other people. In the case of Olive, pretending to be her twin sister. In the case of Ethan, pretending to be his brother Dane. But it seems that was just kind of a setup for the growing relationship between Olive and Ethan. Not going to spoil anything. It does change. There's a lot of wrinkles in there. It's quite hard to describe, but I enjoyed it through and through for a bunch of reasons. One, It's kind of like light drama. If you're familiar with Sex and the City or Entourage, sometimes you want just a little bit of drama to make things spicy, but not too much where it like sticks with you for days and days after. This is definitely an afternoon read after you've done your chores in the morning, you have your afternoon pick-me-up, and you are curled up in your reading nook, or if you're at the pool, at the resort, to take an afternoon and check it out. So it's not that hard. And for the second reason, the characters are pretty much two-dimensional. And I mean that in the best way possible, right? We have some depth when it comes to our main core characters of Olive and Ethan, the protagonists, if you will. But you're not really bogged down by excessive backstories of different characters. You're not reading a J.K. novel book, J.K. Rowling novel, for example. Again, J.K. Rowling is an amazing talent. I would have mentioned her if she wasn't, but that's the difference what I'm saying about having every character having this deep backstory. It is made to be digested 400 pages aside. What I didn't like so much in this one is, well, with the hint of romance, with the idea of going on a honeymoon with someone you can't even stand, I don't have to tell you what transpires in Act 2 and Act 3, but you can have pretty much a good idea. I'm not even going to mention it here because I don't want to spoil anything inadvertently. But I really felt that there was some more room to play with the premise, more room to play with the culture in Hawaii, more room to play with what are you going to do if they were to be found out? Well, how far would they have gone to pretend in certain situations beyond what's described in the book? And on top of that, they do kind of leave the island fairly quickly. There's about 100 pages left when they return from the actual honeymoon, or the unhoneymoon in question, and the fallout required to theirs. Now, I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but I do think I recommend it. I recommend it. Check it out for yourself. If you're into the romance genre, if you're into the chick lit genre, if you're into something light and breezy, if you're waiting for a plane, train, or automobile, but it's not going to reinvent the wheel. It will not change your life. It will not be the best book you ever read. It won't be the most wittiest book you ever read. And frankly, even though the premise is super sweet and saccharine, there are some F-bombs in there. So I'll think twice before sliding off to your grandma, unless your grandma's really cool and down with the cause. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. That is the Unhoneymooners. I always make sure to get the actual physical copy when I'm reading a book for the show. I'm not sure what the presentation is on the ebook version, but check it out if you have time. Check it out. Add it to your reading list. I give it a favorable review. A lot more digestible than last month's book, Is This Anything by Jerry Seinfeld, where I go through like his jokes for the past 40 or 50 years. Easy breezy cover girl. Check it out if you have a chance. That does it for me on this edition of Flobito's Book Club. I'm not sure what the next book is going to be. When I do figure it out, you will be the first to know. This is an exclusive Patreon edition of this program. This won't be found anywhere else. No podcasts. This is right here on Patreon, the Boyce's Crew. Make sure you tell your friends to join at patreon.com/FloboBoys. All right, that does it for me. And until next month, keep reading.